Well, Jeremy Hassell is a pop culture commentator and host over at feedthearts.com. And Jeremy, you went to a screening of this. What did you think about it?
What's great about this film, first I want to tell you and the world watching, is that I'm frugal. You know, a little bit cheap when I say going to the movies, but this is worth the money.
Really?
Yes.
Well, how can you be frugal when it comes to entertainment? Give me a break here.
When it comes to what movies you're going to choose, you know, but this one I definitely say is worth it. What Top 5 is Chris Rock showing us how he's grown. Now, we know him as stand-up. You know, what do you think of Chris Rock, even when I say his name?
Well, I love Chris Rock. I mean, I just, you know, I mean, even the little series, Everybody Hates Chris. Or
That's right.
I love it. Well, look, you know, I saw one clip, and we had it at the beginning of the show, where he's I'm a black man trying to flag down a cab, and all of a sudden, it's like one screeches right in front of him. Is he saying in this, and I don't want you to reveal the whole movie, that perhaps things have changed somewhat in our society?
Well, Chris is doing what we love him for, is talking about the uncomfortable truths of what's going on. Now, a lot of people might hold on to the stereotypes and things, sometimes for comfort, but Chris always pokes at it and makes us look at it from a new perspective, and always funny with him.
What stuck out in your mind in this movie that you just walked away with more so than anything else?
Was that Chris Rock can be a leading man. We've seen him be a stand-up comic. He's one of the best to ever do it. Now we've seen him be the sidekick in a lot of successful films, like Madagascar and Grown Ups. But in this film, he's actually not only being funny, but serious. Because it takes you, like, the whole film, Top 5, is about a mirror of his life, I would say. In the way of like a Woody Allen would do a film.
Okay, here's the deal, though. You know, this film could be possibly called controversial in some aspects of it. Because, you know, Chris, he's always pushing the buttons. He pushed it on Saturday Night Live. I can see people there, but we don't know if we should really laugh at this or not. But that being the case, and although it is a comedy, how difficult was it to find the money for this? Or with the people behind him, I guess money was not an option?
Well, what was awesome about this is Chris Rock is a product now of this generation as well, which is really do it yourself. So he filmed it without telling anyone really in Hollywood. And then he filmed it and then showed it at the Toronto Film Festival last year and had every studio coming to him. And he went with Paramount. They gave him over $12.5 million for it, and then another $20 million to distribute and promote it.
You know, I got to ask Jeremy, as social commentary, and of course, you know, anything that Chris Rock does is social commentary to a certain degree, just like Richard Pryor and, you know, a few others like him. How do you think this film perhaps might change anything at all as we deal with each other interculturally?
Oh, wow. What's so great about what Chris Rock, you know, he's in the Mount Rushmore of comedians because he talks about those topics that are real that you would in your living room, but he puts it out there for the whole world to see. Whether it's right or wrong, it's the truths, you know? And what this is going to do culturally is raise a lot of questions for people to talk about after. After seeing this film, you're going to see things like the clip that we showed or you saw about the cab and black people looking to get cabs nowadays, what does really happen, and so many other truths. So what's great about a great film is that it makes you think. I personally think afterwards. But this one makes you think, maybe kind of cry at certain points, but really it'll make you laugh.
Well, let me ask you a question, okay? Outside of laughing, maybe learning something from it, and I guess depending on how you look at this thing, do you look at this, I mean, you're excited about it, Jeremy. Do you look at this film as being one of those iconic films that will go down in history that people will, you know, will always remember?
Well, just like I would say, I'm going to be bold here, right? And I have to warn you. Just to say how Eddie Murphy did, and we showed that he could really write with Coming to America. I think Chris Rock has done this in a different way because he went in more of an independent feel of a film. So he showed some truths in his life as well on the screen, like we've never seen him before. So absolutely, it's going to change things.
Who do you think is going to go to see this film more? Do you see it equally as amount as the number of blacks going to this film as whites? Is he airing any dirty laundry of African Americans? Of people of color in this film?
Well, as you know, Chris, the root of a lot of his bits come from our culture, from the African American culture, from such as Good Hair, which was a great documentary, you know? He's doing things like this as well, but he's putting a spin on it so that everyone can relate and laugh to it as well.
This is obviously a huge comeback for Chris Rock. A lot of people saying, like, when is he going to come out with something? When is he going to do like his one-man act again, like, you know, on like HBO or something like that? What fueled this in your mind for him coming back? This big comeback.
Okay, I think what fueled him was really how he did this film. The way he did it was he was on the set for Madagascar, and he's sitting there waiting all his time to go in. When's he going to work? Or I'm sorry, on the set for actually Grown Ups with Adam Sandler, who's a buddy of his. And he took a minute with all the time he had on the set, seeing how Adam Sandler has created his own genre of movies and become super successful. And Chris is just as talented, if not more, and took a minute and said, wow, he made his own lane. I'm going to do the same one my way with this film. That's why I did did independently, and that's why I think it hits so hard when you guys all get to see it.
Guess what?
What?
I'm going to watch it. I'm going to get a huge bag of buttered popcorn with a lot of salt on it, and I'm going to have a good time just because you promoted it so much. You're the man.
Oh,
Chris should be paying you.
I agree.
Jeremy. Jeremy, thanks so much for joining us.
No problem. Good to see you.
You got it. And thanks for joining us on Arise Review. I'm Julian Phillips. Have a great, wonderful, and productive week. And join us again next week on Arise Review. Take care.